Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 3 of the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone, the campaign against living miserably. Tonight we are racing at Road America, the full layout in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, United States of America. 4 miles in length, 14 turns, and we have the biggest turnout of the season so far with 28, so it's guaranteed to be an amazing race here tonight with massive straightaways, great overtaking opportunities in some of the biggest braking zones, and currently out qualifying here halfway through, so still got about 4 minutes to complete their 3 laps. Let's see how they will do that. We've had 2 races earlier in the season, Will Redford and Nathan Wade, one at Lime Rock and Hockenheim, and here is the rest of the calendar. So quite a few big tracks this season, promising to be a great season past these first 2 races that we've had. So Ryan, back here at Road America. Been a while since we was here. I can't remember when we were at last year, but it's a great racetrack for these little cars.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those tracks that's you've got loads of straights, and with loads of straights as well, with a huge pack. It always provides great slipstream battles, and I think we'll be basically we'll have that tonight, and it'll be hard to predict the winner, but I love this track. It's just such a fun challenge because you've got long sweeping corners and you've got straights like I mentioned, but also you've got some slow speed corners as well. So with this car, it's going to be quite a challenge.
It definitely is. It's partly cloudy here as always, 18 degrees in the air, 28 degrees on the track, so it won't be struggling with getting their temperatures up here today at least. But at the moment it is Will Redford once again atop the scoreboard here in qualifying, 8/1000ths of a second ahead of Adam Miles, who was about to win, or has had a chance to win in both these races, but it just hasn't turned out for him the way that he would have hoped. But these guys still have another, I think they've only completed 1 lap each so far, so they're gonna get well, they should get 1 more, but I don't think they're going to have enough time because the lap time's over 2.5 minutes and we've only got 2 minutes left, and they're all still only on their 2nd lap. So this will be it for these guys. They will not have enough time to get around because you only get about 10 seconds after the time run out. So the way they run across the line this time is where they're going to line up in the race. So Nathan Wade, he's finished. He's going to be in 3rd. Clark Williams is going to be 4th at best. That is Daniel Tufts moves up to 7th as he completes his lap. Here we have Kevin Budgeon, currently quite far down the order. See what he can do when he completes his lap. He will trying to find him on the list here. He's going to go up to 15th place for now. The 31 is going around as well, but he is in turn number 1, so he's not going to get anywhere. The 85 Adam Miles, he's coming around the final corner here though. This could be for the pole. He needs to improve by over 6/10 though, because Will Redford completed his qualifying with an outstanding lap. Here he comes now, up the hill, over the crest to the finish line. And he will not improve, so he will stay in 2nd place. And that's going to be quite a margin for Will Redford. He must have put that lap together perfectly. See if there's any other cars left on the track. I'm not too sure about that actually, as most drivers that are on track have just gone past the start finish line. We've got Dave Devine out on his 1st lap here. See if he will be able to make it. He's coming down towards Canada corner if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, no, this is actually the final corner, so he will just make it up to the start finish line. He's got 15 seconds. Here he comes up the hill, currently in 26th without a time, so as long as this is a good lap he's going to move up the order. Just how far it will be is the question. To 21st, so 35.7, and that was literally 2 seconds before the checkered flag came out. So that is the last thing that's going to happen here in qualifying, and the grid for the race has been set. So we're going to have Will Redford on pole position once again, with Adam Miles in second once again. Nathan Wade starts in third, with Clark Williams in fourth, George Mattock in fifth, and Sarah Savage making her return to the Monday Night Skippys, qualifying all the way up in sixth place. Great to see her back here. Nicholas Von Roberts in seventh, Patrick Bennett in eighth, Daniel Tufts in ninth, Andrew Leach in 10th, Christopher Miles in 11th, and Dave Dowson in 12th position. Paul Smithers in 13th, Martin Armitage in 14th, Kevin Budge in 15th, Jeff Randall 16th, John McDonald 17th, Tim Adcock in 18th, Jonathan Rex in 19th, and David Clapham rounding out the top 20 here tonight. And then we have, like we saw, Dave Devine in 21st, and Alan Patterson in 22nd, and Craig Tillotson in 23rd, and he's the last car to set a time. Then Ben Daniels, without a time, will start 24th, Anthony P.M. Jones 25th, Terry McGrother in 26th, then Mark Redford in 27th, and Peter Parnell in 28th. So Ben Daniels and Anthony P.M. Jones both failed to set a lap time, Ryan, and going to start 24th and 25th.
Yeah, that's the thing with not setting a lap time around Road America. You'll be towards the back of the grid, and especially with a large grid like this, it'll make passing cars difficult. But like I say, the laws straights, and if you stay in the slipstream and get a run, you can try and make a move.
They definitely still have a chance. I don't think a win is going to be in the cars, because she's going to be too far behind. As I think the last couple of cars are just taking the grid. The engines are revving, and the green light is out. Here we go. We are racing. It's a good getaway for poles here. Everybody seems to be wanting to get single file though. Fourth place, Clark Williams does not get a very good start. Mattock is going to get up the inside of him. Already coming down towards turn number 1. Here comes Wade as well up the inside of Miles, and I think the slipstream is already coming into play here. So you're going to be side by side for second place, and you can see a lot of side by side all the way down through the field, but everyone making it through turn 1 so far anyway. Here they come back behind the trees again, and Adam Miles is going to hold on to that position around the outside of Wade. Oh, and there's contact behind. George Mattock is ran over by Sarah Savage, and both of them go into gravel. That is not the return that Sarah wanted into the Monday Night Skippys, as her, Mattock and Tufts are all off the track down to 25th, 26th, 27th place. Unfortunately, Redford comes through. So Daniel Tufts and Mark Redford now down to the last 2 positions. That was not what we wanted to see as we get a replay here. And Savage just too late on the brakes. Maybe Mattock was early, I'm not sure, but she did run over the back of Mattock, and that is pretty much going to be it for these guys, unfortunately. Yeah,
it's not the return that Sarah wanted to the Monday Night Skippys. I think she might have just outbraked herself ever so slightly, and I think maybe just a bit rusty as well with this car, not racing for ages. But back up at the front, it's Adam Miles leading from Rob Redford, and it looks like Nathan Wade is up into third, and Clark Williams with a great qualifying performance as well, up there in fourth place, keeping them honest.
Yeah, always we have another contact here. David Devine and Jonathan Rex is off. Rex is going to drop quite a few positions here. I think it was up to 17th, now dropping down to 25th. He's going to get passed by a couple of these cars that went off early, but at the front it is Miles, Redford, Wade and Williams still pulling away here. Miles made that move down to the bottom of the straightaway, down towards turn number 5, so he's probably going to keep the lead to the start-finish line, but then Redford will be coming back into turn number 1, and then Miles will be coming back down into turn number 5 again, as we can see Rex here just lost it on his own, actually locked up, and then a car behind just ran into him outside of the track. So 2 cars there outbraking themselves at the same time. It's a weird situation. Clark Williams dropped back a little bit from these 3 in front of him, but with these massive straightaways coming up, he should be able to close back in on these guys. As we're going to see Will Redford move out here, he's going to go back for the lead. The question is, will he make it before the start finish line? It's going to be done well in time, so I think second place is going to be where you want to be coming into the final corner of this race. As here comes Nathan Wade, he's going to try and put it 3 wide up the middle, and he might have the lead here coming up into turn number 1. Miles has dropped back behind both of these guys. Redford is backing out, and Wade is going to be clear by the time to get into the braking zone.
Yeah, great run by Wade, heading down the home straight and heading into turn 1. He managed to get the move done as he gets a bit sideways on the gravel there, and it is a head down to turn 2. Wade still holding the holding the lead rather. Will Redford, I think, if he gets a great run, I think he'll take the opportunity and try and retake the lead as I try and get my words out eventually.
Here he comes back up the inside again as we follow the battle back behind there as well, behind 6th. That's around 10th place, but they're side by side for the lead. Williams is right there, almost making it too wide for 3rd as well, but he's going to stay behind, and everyone just being sensible here early on, not going too wide more than you need to, trying to pull away from these guys back behind, and the gap is up to 3 seconds already from Williams down to Nicholas von Roberts. And behind Nicholas von Roberts, we actually have Kevin Budgeon, who qualified 15th. He's already up into 6th place.
Yeah, that was a great start from Kevin as well. 15th up into 8th place. That's an unbelievable first couple of laps from him, just avoiding the mayhem. And also another name I noticed that's made a return tonight is Andrew S. Leach, currently sitting in this battle as well.
Yeah, quite a few names coming back here as we see Leach here. There is a car wide on the gravel. I think that might have been Patrick Bennett. So Leach, the car behind there, the white one with the bronze colored wheels. And here we have a battle a bit further back. That would be Armitage, Adcock and McGrother, but we're back here with 5th through 12th is this little train as they're spreading out now, coming down towards the kink. Now down towards Canada corner. This is a straightaway, but it's going right and then to the left. So, but you can definitely set up an overtake opportunity here. See what Leach will be able to do here on Bennett coming down. Looks like he's going to back out slightly as they're side by side ahead of him, and that's going to be a position change. Budgeon up past Bennett into 6th place.
Yeah, it was a great move heading into Canada corner as this pack of cars comes up to the final corner now. And it's still relatively close, and not just close racing up at the front, but also close racing in the midfield as always in the Monday night Skippys as they head onto the home straight now to complete the end of lap 2 and coming across the line.
Several groups down through the field here, and I would not be surprised if we can see these guys go 2 or 3 wide down into turn number 1 as the leaders just switch back and forth and stay in line. As we see here, Wade takes the lead and then they all slot back in line, but they're going to be side by side for 5th, side by side for 7th, and that's actually 6th and 8th because 5th place is checked out. But Bennett is going to take over 6th from Budgeon. Miles is on the inside of Leach there, moving up position. Leach is going to get it back on the outside of Christopher Miles, so they're going to stay side by side coming down towards turn number 3. See who will be later on the brakes. It looks like Miles on the inside gives him what he needs. So Andrew Leach back into 8th place. Here comes Dowson now having a look on Miles for 9th place as the leaders go back side by side again. And they had an opportunity to be 3 wide, but they're not going to be. So side by side now for 6th and 7th here. And Budgeon will hold on to that from Bennett as, I thought that was 3 wide behind, but I think they sorted themselves out. And while these guys are battling here, Nicholas von Roberts is pulling away.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say this. These guys squabbling amongst themselves. It's allowing Von Roberts to just pull away and just build a little bit of a gap, and while these guys are just battling away behind. And Von Roberts is pretty much on a recovery drive at the moment, and I think the next car in front of him is Clark Williams, and just looking behind, Von Roberts I think could be able to close that gap down. I think.
As long as they keep battling at the front, he might be able to, but he's at the moment over 3 seconds behind. So if these guys at the front work together like they're supposed to, they're going to fly away. But if they go side by side through the corners, that gap is going to come down very quickly as they're going at it here again, 6th through 13th now actually, and Nicholas von Roberts just around a second ahead of these guys, so they've still got his draft, and they could close up to him if they work together, but it's going to take some teamwork as we're back with the leaders here again. Redford currently leading from Miles, Wade and Williams, and these guys, they are nose to tail and they're not doing more than what they need to at the moment to pull away here, see what they can do. Last time around they pulled about a 10th on Nicholas von Roberts, even though these are 4 against 1, so we'll have to see what will happen this time around. No passes being made through here, and if they just make the move down the straightaway now, put Miles into the lead and then put Redford back into the lead coming down to turn number 5, I don't think Nicholas von Roberts is going to have anything to do with this battle as the gap has come up a few more tenths now. Just going to see what it says at the start finish line here as we have a change for the lead, and Wade is going to go from 3rd to 1st within a matter of seconds, but lap time wise Actually, these guys aren't really pulling away from Nicholas Von Roberts. It's about a tenth or two, but Wade into the lead. Miles, side by side, almost contact there. Miles going to go out a little bit wider. Redford now back up the inside again. Williams there trying to find an opening as well. And Anthony P.M. Jones just set the fastest lap back in 12th position. But it's going to be Nathan Wade taking over the lead. Redford still side by side here with Miles. Now Wade is given the draft to Redford, so he should have the advantage over Miles. But they will... it's going to be about who gets on later on the race down here in turn number 5 at the moment. Redford just gets ever so slightly ahead. Here comes Miles now up the inside of Wade, and Wade is going to go back down to 3rd just as quickly as he got up into the lead. Now Miles on the inside is going to have lower speed coming out of the corner though, so Redford back into the lead. Miles holds on to 2nd as they come on a request here. I think they're going to be all back to single file. But Von Roberts is loving this because that ordeal just cost these guys half a second to Von Roberts. So that gap is now down to almost 2.8 seconds.
Yeah, and that's fine with this battle as well. They're just holding each other up, and as you see there, Von Roberts is slowly closing that battle down, and also Von Roberts as well is starting to drag that second pack as well to up to this lead battle up at the front. So we could have multiple cars involved in the battle for the win, and also the finishing places on the podium quite soon if these guys up at the front keep holding each other up.
Yeah, just as they get onto the straightaway down towards Canada corner and through these last few corners, they managed to open up that gap again. See what they can do now, because as soon as they stop going side by side, they just drive away. But here they come again. Adam Miles is going to make the move down in towards Canada corner. See if he can get that position from Miles. He will. He's going to be clear, so he's back into the lead, and a lot of gravel on the track there as well. So you want to be a bit careful. So you don't go too hard onto that gravel and take yourself out. Further back in the pack though, George Mattock, who started in 5th and then got taken out in that start accident, he has made his way back up to 14th. He was down in 25th, so he's had a great recovery drive. Savage is back up to 17th as well. Hey, you can see in the background there, that group is split up as well. Von Roberts has been caught up by Budgeon, and that group now only stretches down to 10th as they're going to go side by side, 3 wide again for the lead. Here comes Wade. He's going to go from 3rd to 1st again within a matter of seconds. He's going to be clear of Redford. Miles and Redford going to be side by side into turn number 1. Actually, Redford going to hold it on the outside of Nathan Wade, but Wade will get clear coming out of the corner. I think it's kind of hard to see from this angle actually. Here they come down the hill. Redford holds it out the outside, and he's actually clear of Wade coming into turn number 3. That was a bit interesting, but I guess he can carry more momentum. There's 2 cars going to grass there, and here comes Clark Williams through now up into 3rd. Going to be looking for 2nd here on Wade as well, as Redford goes tight, but Wade is able to get in front of Clark Williams. But now from being 4th the whole race just waiting, with 5.5 laps to go, he gets involved and he's up to 3rd.
Yeah, Clark Williams is going to go up to 3rd. Yeah, I was about to say Clark Williams up into 3rd place as well. He goes around the outside of Adam Miles as well. So a great move by him. Very opportunistic. They took it. He took the chance when it opened. He took the position and up into 3rd place. But I think Adam Miles won't waste any time in trying to get back by him. And Clark Williams is a smart thinking driver. He doesn't try and force the issue. He plays a waiting game as Nathan Wade, for some reason, is weaving around.
And maybe want to get the temperatures up in those tires to try something, or maybe he had some contact with the curb somewhere. The curbs around here isn't that nasty though, so I'm probably just trying to get some heat in those tires, because we see that all the time in qualifying here. They go weaving back and forth and almost spin out on their out laps to try and build temperature. So sometimes you see them do that in the race as well early on to get temperature, but at the moment I don't think that is what you really want to be doing, as that will cost you too much speed. But here comes Wade now. Going to be on the inside around the little kink outside into Canada corner. Williams is coming with him as well. So Wade up into the lead. Williams is side by side on the outside of Redford. He backs out though, gives Redford that position back. Does not want to be side by side through Canada corner, and they give Nathan Wade a gap there at the front. But where he's sitting now, Clark Williams, he could very well be leading coming down into turn number 1 from what we've seen earlier in the race. And Adam Miles now in 4th. What will he be able to do from that there? We saw it took a mistake from 2 cars to go in the grass for Williams to even make up 1 position. But I guess Miles might be a bit more aggressive than Williams, so he could make it happen as well. As here they come over the hill again. Redford to the inside. which is going to end up being in the middle as Clark Williams makes a move as well. Redford looks like it's going to go even more defensive though. Williams stays back a little bit, does not want to make it 3 wide. So here comes Miles as well to make it 2x2 for third.
Yeah, Clark Williams up into second now, using that slipstream from Will Redford to get up into second place as well. He made the move heading into turn 1, but I think Wade might try and make a move up inside into turn 2. Actually, no, he doesn't. I thought he was going to fall up the inside there, but just defending from Adam Miles, and on the run down the straight as well. I think Adam Miles might get a run on Nathan Wade, and he's getting closer and closer in the slipstream, but is he close enough to make a move? I don't think so, but Nathan Wade in front of him has got the run on Clark Williams, and Clark Williams has got the run on Will Redford.
3 wide again, almost down into turn number 1, but they back out thankfully. Williams now up the inside of Redford. Meanwhile, we have the battle for 5th as well. Going to try and follow that, but here comes Clark Williams to not enough speed there up the inside. I don't think he's got the inside again, but Redford around the outside, and it's able to carry more momentum, staying side by side now. But Williams, no, he will be back in second. Redford gets clear. Meanwhile, you saw Budgeon as well moving up into 5th. They're passing Nicholas Von Roberts. Andrew Leach up into 7th again. And Kevin Budgeon qualified 15th, now up into 5th place. So 10 positions gained. What an amazing race from him. And Anthony PM Jones, who messed up qualifying, started 25th. He's up into 11th. And he is just under a second and a half behind these guys. You saw him there in the background. So when he catches up to these guys, he will be in the battle for a top 5 position here from starting 25th. At the front though, it is still Will Redford holding the lead from Clark Williams. See if he is going to make a move here. Back to the inside here around the kink. It's going to be the outside for Canada corner. But if he's able to get clear, he will be in the lead, and he is. And they go side by side here as well. Von Roberts up the inside of Budgeon, and he has taken 5th place away from Kevin there. Leach behind as well, trying to find an opening, but he's going to stay behind to keep them all single file. And 5 cars in this battle here. Christopher Miles dropped back about a second and a half there, so he will have to pick up his pace, or Anthony PM Jones is behind there trying to make it into the top 10. Ben Daniels, who started back there with PM Jones as well in 24, has made it up to 14th, so not quite as far, but he's coming back up through the field as well as we come on to lap number 7 here. So it's going to be 4 laps to go as Will Redford goes up the inside of Clark Williams again into the lead. Wade is going to put it up the middle, 3 wide for the lead once more. Wade has the overspeed though, almost clear of Redford. I think he'll be clear by the time they get to the breaking point. He is. So Wade from 3rd up to the lead again. That's going to be very interesting coming to the final lap. See who wants to be positioned where and how they're all going to make it work.
Yeah, a great battle up at the front of these guys, and Clark Williams was in the lead, but he's fallen back to 3rd place now. It's just the nature of this track that you can be in the lead and you can end up falling back and losing 2 or 3 positions, as Clark Williams already knows about. But Clark Williams has actually got the run on Will Redford. He's using his slipstream to try and get by Nathan Wade, but Adam Miles as well. Adam Miles is trying to get by as well, but it looks like Clark Williams is going to... No, he stays in 3rd.
Holds on to that position. Redford, a little bit of a gap here. It's not much, so it's going to come straight back down to Nathan Wade, but side by side still for 3rd. Miles with the inside here. Now Williams going to get the inside for the next corner. If he can hold it, he's going to retain 3rd position. He does. Miles backs in behind him again. And the gap down to 5th place now from 4th is 2.3 seconds. So going side by side like this for a couple of corners has cost them time. And Von Roberts, who's now back into 5th place, is closing back in on these guys. I'm wondering if maybe they're working together back here around 5th and 6th rather than racing each other. So maybe that's why they're swapping positions every lap. Is if they know what they're doing and they do it right, they could actually catch up to these leaders by the time we get the white flag to start the final lap here. If they just keep on scrapping away there at the front, they're kind of spread out now, so they're going to be able to use the draft and pull away a little bit more. It's about half a second from Williams up to Wade, so that's half a second that's going to be built on the gap as Budgeon now up the inside of Von Roberts is going to be the outside for Canada corner, but he is once again going to be clear. So they're doing a great job back here, just working together. Budgeon and Roberts switching positions back and forth. Have to see what the lap times are saying across the line this time, but I don't think it's going to be enough as long as the guys at the front notice what they're doing. The gap is coming straight back up at this part of the racetrack, so great job from the leaders still to be able to pull away from these guys, even though they're passing each other back and forth all the time. As Nathan Wade and Redford is pulled away now from Williams and Miles, as Wade goes back into the lead ahead of Will Redford at the front, and here they are again side by side for 5th, side by side for 7th. Von Roberts moving past Budgeon, and 3. Oh, they're backing out here. What's going on? They're almost 3 wide behind, closing up in no time. I thought somebody had an issue there, almost running over each other, but nobody wants to lead this pack by the looks of it.
Yeah, this is pretty much the stage of the race where everyone's kind of trying to plan what they're going to do in the closing stages of this race. We're on lap 8 at the moment, and I think if I was Clark Williams, I would wait until the final lap to try and make a move, because he seems to be, they were losing touch with Wade and Redford in front of them, but I think being in 4th position, he might be in the perfect position to going into the last lap.
Back behind him as well, PM Jones has now made it into 10th place, and he's closing on these guys as Budgeon goes back ahead of Robertson. Here comes Patrick Bennis as well, wanting to get involved, wanting to position himself now for the last couple of laps. Side by side up over the crest under the Corvette bridge. But when Roberts holds on to that position, Bennett back into 7th ahead of Leach and Dowson. And look out behind you guys. Anthony PM Jones last lap, he closed in half a second on these guys, and almost a second on the leader of this pack, and a second on the leaders of the race as well, or the back part of that pack anyway. So PM Jones has got some good speed, so it's not over for him. Yeah, he's still got 2 laps, and if he can get in the draft here on the next lap, he will definitely be in the battle. But all these 5 guys at the moment, though, still have a great chance of finishing 5th. And if something happens at the front, this could be the battle for the final podium position.
Absolutely. As the top 4 come through the kink and heading on to the run up to Canada Corner, it's I was going to say it's still Wade leading, but he goes a little bit wide, and that gives Will Redford an opportunity to get the run and try and take advantage heading up to Canada Corner. It looks like he's going to get the move done. He's up there inside. Adam Miles is trying to come through as well, but he can't succeed in that move. So Will Redford back into the lead, but I have a feeling that when they get back onto the home straight, that'll all change very quickly.
Certainly will, and side by side back here as well. Rob holds on to 5th from Budgeon, and Leach and Bennett going at it, but Leach holding on to that position as well in 7th. So Kevin Budgeon still 15th up to 6th place, so no matter what happens here, he's had a great race. And then behind him, obviously, PM Jones, you can see him there leading train of cars at the far distance there, the couple of cars behind that second pack. But here we go for the lead again. 2 laps to go, this time by Nathan Wade, taking the lead again from Will Redford. And here comes Adam Miles trying to find an opening to make it 3 wide. He's going to put it between Wade and the wall up the inside, and he will have the lead. Here comes Williams as well, so Redford might go from 1st to 4th here down the front straightaway. Holds it up the outside though, not going into the grass. A great move from him. Redford actually back into 2nd. Wade does not have the momentum on the inside. Williams trying to follow Redford around the outside now. Backs in behind Wade again. But I don't know, there's just so many ways to pass around here. Inside, outside, down the straight. It's just, I mean, you get a chance pretty much every corner, and it doesn't matter if you're inside or outside. You just need the momentum and you're going to be ahead again.
Absolutely, and if you, as you saw, Redford was able to carry that momentum on the outside on the exit of turn 1 as they're just about to, I thought they were going to go 4 wide there for a second, as Clark Williams, it looks like he's going to go up into 3rd place and try to take 2nd place, but Clark Williams is going to lose 3rd place, I think, because no, he's not actually. I thought he was going to lose it because Nathan Wade rather was up the inside sort of, but decides to back out of it.
Redford are holding on to that lead still, and the gap down to the second pack is open up. Even though these guys are racing, they're racing even harder back there for 5th and 6th apparently, even though they're not passing each other too much. So these are the 4 guys racing for the win unless something happens. 1.5 laps to go into the carousel now, turn 9 and 10. Then on to turn number 11 around the kink, through Kettle Bottoms and down to Canada Corner, which is the next overtaking opportunity. But they've sort of spread out here coming around the carousel. So the run through the kink here is going to be important for Wade if he wants to, or for Miles, sorry, if he wants to make a move here on Redford. To lead coming across the start finish line to give the lead back to Will Redford to get down into 2nd, which is where you want to be coming down into the final corner on the final lap. But he moves out of line and then he lets off the throttle to let Will Redford hold on to that lead. That's going to give Clark Williams an opportunity around the outside. Williams backs out as well, though. So this is where the mind game starts to come into play. They have 3 seconds down to the second pack, so they can afford to back up quite a bit, but not too much, because then those guys will catch right back up to them. So coming to the white flag here, 1 lap to go. Redford locks up a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be the one to take the white flag. Unless Miles can have a run around him here. Maybe Miles makes the move here and then gives it right back. Everybody here obviously wants to be in second place coming in to the final corner. But yeah, you can't just hit the brakes and stop and let one car go past, because then everybody's going to come. As Wade moves into the moves into the lead here. Williams on the outside. Here comes Wade. They're going to be 4 wide into turn number 1 on the final lap. Redford backs out. Contact between Williams and Wade. Both of them going around. Redford is collected as well, and Adam Miles is going to come through there with the win. Miles is going to take off on his own with the win. Clark Williams comes through in second. So now Nicholas Von Roberts is up into third, and that battle is now for third place. Leach and Budgeon side by side now for 4th and 5th. So Leach gets into the 4th place. Will Redford is out of the race. He's towed back to the pits, and Nathan Wade is down in 11th, just getting passed by Ben Daniels, and Anthony PM Jones from 25th now up into 8th place. What a race from him! But here is actually going to be a replay of what happened here. I think Wade just went a little bit too deep on the brakes. Maybe Williams turned in on him. They made contact, got sideways, collected Redford, and Williams somehow is able to get going. It looked like Wade was also able to get going, but Redford just backed into him again, trying to get off the track. So Adam Miles pulling away with the win here all by himself. He's got 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds down to Clark Williams, who is just ahead of Nicholas Von Roberts. And this is going to be a race for second place now for Nicholas Von Roberts, who just a lap ago was battling for 5th. So we've got a race on here for second place at least, even though Adam Miles is going to win this race. So we will stay focused here on the battle for second, third, and then the battle for 4th back here between Budgeon, Leach, Dowson and Patrick Bennett. And Kevin Budgeon started at 15th. He's up into 4th now, so he can hold on to this. That's going to be 11 spots gained for him. What a race from him as well. But the battle is on for second here. Clark Williams or Nicholas Von Roberts. Who is it going to be? Down towards Canada corner, it's Roberts with the inside. Williams looks like he's going to go in behind as Leach goes past Kevin Budgeon as well. Von Roberts is going to be up into second place, and Leach is up into 4th. So I think them two are going to finish 3rd and 5th. This is the optimal opportunity, or the best position for Clark Williams to be in, because Roberts is not going to have any draft, and Clark Williams is just going to be able to tuck it under his wing and draft right back past him. As here comes Adam Miles out of the final corner, and he will win here at Road America for his 2nd win of the season. Great start to the season from actually his 1st win of the season was Nathan Wade last week. So Adam Miles taking his 1st win of the season finally, after having 2 very, very close ones. As here they come side by side for 2nd. Back behind it's going to be Clark Williams for 2nd, and behind them they're side by side as well. Actually, they're going to get single file before the line, so Nick Moore Roberts takes 4th, and PM Jones and Christopher Miles battling for 9th and 10th. PM Jones gets that position from 25th place on the grid. What a race. As here we have Terry McGroth. No, this is actually the battle for Sarah Savage and Tim Adcock, I think, coming up towards the start-finish line, and Savage is going to hold on to 14th. No, this is even further back. This is Mark Redford for 16th and 17th with Alan Patterson. So Redford from 27th up to 16th as well. Great move from him, and quite a lot of big movers here up at the front in both directions. But that was not the way we wanted the race for the win to turn out, but still some great racing all the way through the field, and 3 winners in 3 races. A great start to the season so far. Sounds like we lost him there for a moment as we watch the last couple of cars coming around the final corners here to finish out the race. See who this one might be. If we can catch number 97, this is Jonathan Rex coming home into 22nd place, about 10 seconds behind Armitage. And here is Craig Tillotson now coming up the hill. He's got David Clapham about 3 seconds behind him. So these guys are still racing as we have the leaders here crashing themselves into the barriers. These guys actually haven't finished. This was the battle for 26th and 25th between Daniel Tufts and John McDonald. So none of those guys are going to finish. That was an interesting way to end the race. So that would be everybody, I think, apart from those two, across the finish line. Barney is still waving that flag, so not sure if somebody is still out on track. But anyway, it's time to go through the post-race result. Adam Miles, the third winner of the season here in 3 races, taking a win 2.5 seconds ahead of Clark Williams, with Nicholas Vaughan Roberts in third. Andrew Leach coming home in fourth, and Kevin Budgeon from 15th on the grid finishes 5th, ahead of Dave Dowson and Patrick Bennett in 7th. Anthony P.M. Jones from 25th up to 8th place. Christopher Miles in 9th, and then Ben Daniels from 24th to round out the top 10. George Mattock in 11th, Geoff Randall in 12th, Sarah Savage recovers from last to finish 13th, Tim Adcock in 14th, Mark Redford 27th up to 15th, and then Alan Patterson 16th, Terry McGrother 17th, Paul Smithers in 18th, Nathan Wade recovers to 19th, and Martin Armitage rounds out the top 20. And we have Jonathan Rex in 21st, Peter Parnell 22nd, David Clapham in 23rd, Craig Tillotson in 24th, Will Redford in 25th, without having scored time, and then Tufts and McDonald in 26th and 27th, like we saw there at the end. And then Dave Devine, who had some technical issues, which had him disconnected from the race, unfortunately, about halfway through. So all 27 cars that were still running still finished on the lead lap, which is quite impressive for being such a large field, the largest field we've had by a long shot this season, and looks like we're getting back up towards those massive numbers of 40 and 50 cars. See if Ryan is back, maybe?
Yeah, I'm back.
There
Sorry
you are.
about that. My microphone disconnected, so I had to plug it back in again.
Oh well, that sort of stuff happens. Well, we have the winners standing by here for some post-race interviews, so we'll take that first. Adam Miles, that looked like a very intense race for you all race long, and then all of a sudden, everyone just disappears behind you and have a cruise to the win. But talk us through how that race was for you.
It was a race of patience, really. The races like that have been like that all week. You figure out early on who your final group is going to be, and then it's just a question of setting yourself up for lap 10. Try not to be fourth, because it's very difficult to get from fourth to third, but third to first is easy, second to first is easy. But I think everyone was ready. It was lap 10, turn 1. I thought we were going to go 4 wide. I thought Will was going to come down the inside of me, and that was not going to end well. But in the end, I've looked back at it. It's difficult to apportion much blame to anyone. I think we were going 3 wide through turn 1 on the last lap, and yeah, I got lucky. I was the one on the inside. Thought that could happen. Kept as tight as I could through the apex, and then, yeah, just in my mirrors, just saw smoke, somersaults, and just had to not blow up the engine on the last lap.
Still a great race for you, and congratulations on winning that one. Anyone you want to send a shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Just everyone in that top group, and Alan for running the league, and of course you guys for the broadcast.
Thank you for that, Adam, and hope to see you back again next week.
Okay.
So we do not have Clark Williams, we do not have Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, we do not have Leach, so trying to figure out who's going to be the next one. We'll just take somebody. We'll get George Mattock up here. Ryan standing by with George, who ended up in 11th.
Yeah, George, but you're right up there in qualifying, and then basically the first couple of corners on lap 1, you were caught up in an incident. I think it was Sarah, I think it was, but you managed to get a decent recovery and then finish in 11th. How was that race for you?
Dreadful. That's how it was. Awful. Yeah, pretty shocking. Bit of a clown show at the front today. I mean, it's just disheartening because I didn't have much time to put practice in. I put a few races in over the weekend and some this evening, obviously. And then just to be wiped out by an amateur is just poor. But, can't moan too much. Managed to come back from, I don't even know where we were last, or 26th or something, up to 11th or wherever. I don't even know where we finished. But, yeah, it's a shame. I don't want to say too much because I'm pretty annoyed because, the win was definitely on today. Saw what happened last lap. Anything can happen. Pace was good. And, turn 2, lap 1, the race was already decided for me by someone else. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it was still a good recovery to finish in 11th, but like you say, it's not like where you want it to be, but still, I guess I guess it's a consolation. I guess I was looking at your pace, and it was close to the leaders, are actually the same pace as the leaders, so that's so you've got to take some comfort from that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, pace was good here. I had some really close racing with Will and Nick, Nathan, Kevin throughout the week, or yes, over the weekend, and that was probably some of the best racing we've had at this track. So obviously, Monday's normally a little bit more safer than the official races, but yeah, unfortunately, we did the 7:15. Some of us as well. I got taken out in that one, and I got taken out in this one. So yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Just have to try and not get punted next week and go for the win there, because like you say, pace was really good here.
And looking ahead to Road Atlanta next week, do you think you can get back up there challenging for the win? And how do you think the race will go? I mean, it's a tight track, especially that first sector where you can't really make any moves through the twisty section. But do you think patience will be the name of the game next week, with the slipstream being a massive factor?
Yeah, I like that track actually. I should have again. That was another track I should have had a win at last season. I think when Benny and Will had their incident and I went past, and then Nick had to avoid. He tapped me, so I should have probably won that race. But again, that's how it goes. But yeah, it's the full circuit, isn't it, next week? So I think it's going to be quite drafty with that back straight. And yeah, you say patience. I mean, I was being patient today. I've been patient in every single race that I do in this series, and it never pays off. So maybe I need to channel my my inner Verstappen or something and be ultra aggressive and just send it everywhere, because that's what everyone else does. So yeah, why not? Why not be ultra aggressive, and then that will give you guys something to talk about then.
Lastly, before we let you go, George, anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to you guys, of course, for broadcasting. We really appreciate it, and obviously great to have a nice field today. So lots of battling up and down. Shout out to Alan as well for hosting. I know everyone appreciates his work with the Discord server and the standings. And shout out to Adam for getting the win and surviving on the last lap.
Good stuff. Well, again, commiserations today, George. You still put in a decent recovery, and look forward to seeing you on track at Road Atlanta next week.
Cheers, guys. We'll come back next week. It's no biggie.
That was George Matt. Sorry, Linus.
Go on.
I was just going to say that was George Matt joining us. It was not the race that he wanted, but still decent recovery. And we've got some other people waiting to be interviewed by the looks of it.
Well, we usually do 3, and the others are always here. So I'm going to bring in this guy. Not been here for quite some time. Saw him back last week, I think it was, and back here again today. Mark Redford started in 27th, finished 15th. That must have been quite a race for you.
Hello, Linus, mate. How are you doing?
All good.
It was just, well, I messed up at the start because I forgot to put the car in gear, so the lights went out and I floored it and nothing happened. By the time the revs dropped back down, I was 7 seconds behind the last car. But so it was just going past cars that have spun off. I had a bit of a good race with Alan. We battled for a few laps, and that was it really.
So you've been gone from the series quite a while, and finally Will was able to get you back on here somehow. Happy about that. So are you planning to stick with the series, or is it just one-off?
No, I'm going to try and race every Monday whenever I can, and just see if I can improve my single-seater road driving.
Appreciate that. So anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Shout out to Will, unlucky there, did the right thing at the turn 1 on the last lap, but got collected, so unlucky there, Will. Shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. It's good fun to watch them back, and that's it really, and nest in the woods.
Cool. So thank you for joining us, and hope to see you maybe again next week.
Yeah, see you then.
So So yeah, quite an interesting race here today, Ryan. 4 cars battling for the win, and then all of a sudden it was just the last man standing. But some great recovery drives and some great drives up through the field, especially Anthony P.M. Jones, their 25th to 8th. Next week, the Road Atlanta. What expectations for that one?
I think we'll be in for more of the same at Road Atlanta next week. More slipstream battles, and also with that tight twisty section. I think you might be seeing some mayhem happening, some incidents happening, but still, Road Atlanta is one of my favourite tracks with the Skip Barber, and I think if anything, if tonight's anything to go by, I think we should be in for another cracking race.
Definitely will. It's the full course layout there as well. So over the blind crest, down through the S's, and then around the double right-hander onto that massive back straightaway into the final breaking point is going to be intense, especially on the final lap. And expect again to see some 2, 3, maybe even 4 wide coming in through there. But that is next week, so 1 week away. Obviously, tonight we've been racing at Road America. It's been a great race, and eventually it was Adam Miles who came out with his first win of the season. Been watching the UK&I Monday Night Skippys in support of the Calm Zone, the campaign against living miserably, with me, Linus Bergstrom, and Ryan Walker, with Tyler Maxim behind the cameras. Until next week, take care everybody, and stay safe and have a good night.